The 2017 hurricane season was one of the most devastating and costly in recorded history, impacting millions across the Atlantic, Caribbean, and Gulf Coast of Mexico. The 2017 hurricane season was one of the most devastating and costly in recorded history, impacting millions across the Atlantic, Caribbean, and Gulf of Mexico. Characterized by an unusual number of intense storms, it highlighted the vulnerability of certain regions to extreme weather and underscored the need for better preparedness and disaster response. Among the notable storms of the season were Hurricane Harvey, Irma, Maria, and Nate, each of which caused widespread destruction and loss of life. The combined effects of the storms had far reaching consequences. The damage estimates reached into the hundreds of billions of dollars and forced governments and communities to reevaluate strategies for disaster mitigation and climate resistance. The 2017 Atlantic hurricane season officially began on June 1 and ended November 30th, although storms sometimes form outside of this period. It was marked by 17 named storms, 10 hurricanes, and 6 major hurricanes, category 3 or higher. These figures were significantly above the season's average and far surpassed the predicted level for that year. Factors that contributed to the season's intensity included unusually warm sea surface temperatures, low wind shear, and favorable atmospheric conditions, all of which can strengthen tropical cyclones. Hurricanes Harvey, Irma, and Maria stood out for their unprecedented strength and destructive impact on the United States, Puerto Rico, and other Caribbean islands. Each storm set a new record in terms of rainfall, wind speed, and devastation, prompting discussions about the effects of climate change on hurricane patterns and intensity. Hurricane Harvey was one of the first major storms of 2017 season, forming on August 17th and making landfall in Texas on August 25th as a Category 4 hurricane. Harvey quickly became infamous for its record-breaking rainfall, which led to catastrophic flooding in Houston and surrounding areas. In some parts in southeastern Texas, rainfall exceeded 60 inches, the highest total ever recorded for a single storm in the continental U.S. The resulting floods damaged over 200,000 homes, displacing thousands of residents. The total economic losses estimated at around $125 billion. The impacts of Hurricane Harvey raised significant concerns about urban planning and infrastructure resilience. Houston, one of the hardest hit cities, had experienced rapid urbanization, which had reduced the city's natural capacity to absorb water. The lack of zoning laws in Houston also contributed to widespread damage as properties built in flood prone areas were particularly vulnerable. Harvey's devastation led to the reevaluation of flood control infrastructure and underscored the importance of considering climate resilience in urban planning. Hurricane Irma, power and destruction across the Caribbean and Florida. Hurricane Irma, one of the strongest Atlantic hurricanes ever recorded, formed in late August and quickly reached Category 5 status. With sustained winds reaching up to 185 miles an hour, Irma left a path of destruction across the Caribbean, devastating islands like St. Martin and the British Virgin Islands. The storm maintained its intensity as it moved towards the United States, where it eventually made landfall in Florida as a Category 4 hurricane. Irma caused extensive damage to infrastructure, homes, and power stations in Florida, with losses estimated around $50 billion. The storm surge and high winds flooded neighborhoods, knocked out power for millions of residents, and severely affected the state's agriculture, particularly citrus farming. The international response to Irma highlighted the challenge of providing relief in regions with limited resources and infrastructure, and it underscored the vulnerability of small island nations in extreme weather. Hurricane Maria, a devastating blow to Puerto Rico. Hurricane Maria, which made landfall in Puerto Rico on September 20th as a Category 4 hurricane, was one of the deadliest storms of the 2017 season. Maria left an indelible mark on Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands, bringing sustained winds to about 155 miles per hour, causing catastrophic damage to infrastructure. In Puerto Rico, the storm wiped out island electrical grids, leaving nearly 3.4 million residents without power, and severely affecting the water supply, healthcare facilities, and transportation networks. Many residents were without power for months, and some areas did not regain full access to electricity until nearly a year later. Maria's human toll was also staggering, with thousands of fatalities linked to the storm and its aftermath. The prolonged power outages and limited access to medical care, food, and water contributed to the humanitarian crisis. In the aftermath, Puerto Rico faced significant challenges in securing federal aid and rebuilding its infrastructure. Maria raised important questions about disaster response, federal assistance, and the long term impacts of extreme weather on marginalized communities. Lessons and impacts of the 2017 hurricane season. In 2017, the hurricane season had profound implications for disaster preparedness, climate policies, and urban planning. The sheer intensity and frequency of major hurricanes underscored the growing threat posed by extreme weather events, which many scientists link to the effects of climate change. Warmer ocean temperatures and changing atmospheric conditions have contributed to the increased strength and rainfall of hurricanes, suggesting that future hurricane seasons could bring similar or even greater devastation. One of the most critical lessons from the 2017 season was the importance of resilience infrastructure and preparedness. The extensive damage to electrical grids, water systems, and medical facilities in Puerto Rico highlighted the need for more robust infrastructure that can withstand extreme weather. In the United States, cities like Houston and Miami are reassessing building codes, flood control measures, and zoning policies to reduce vulnerability in flood prone areas. Additionally, the season raised awareness about the economic and social disparities in disaster recovery. Communities with fewer resources, such as Puerto Rico and certain parts of the Caribbean, face more prolonged recovery periods due to limited access to federal assistance and infrastructure challenges. These disparities highlighted the importance of disaster response policies that take into account the unique needs and vulnerabilities of each community. The 2017 hurricane season was a sobering reminder of the destructive power of nature and the urgent need for climate resilience. The record breaking rainfall in Hurricane Harvey, the powerful winds of Irma, and the catastrophic impact of Maria each demonstrated the diverse challenges posed by extreme weather. As scientists predict, climate change may lead to more intense and frequent hurricanes. The lessons of 2017 are increasingly relevant. Investments in infrastructure, improved urban planning, and disaster response will be essential to mitigating the impacts of future storms. The season underscored the need for proactive strategies to address the growing risk posed by climate change and to better protect communities from the devastating effects of hurricanes. Thank you for watching our short little documentary on the 2017 hurricane season. If you enjoyed this kind of content, please like and subscribe. We also stream weather daily, so be sure to turn on notifications so you get notified when we go live. Again, thanks and have a great day.